everybody. Brian Duffy in the 19 News digital studios, where we are following breaking news that has to do with the Brecksville Broadview Heights School District. We understand high school students there are being dismissed effective immediately due to a threat. For the very latest on this, we want to get out to 19 News reporter Winnie Dorge, who is live on the scene. Winnie, what can you tell us at this point?
Well, Brian, this is still under investigation. That threat is still yet to be determined. As you mentioned, all high school students have been sent home. Teachers and staff are in the building right now. They are. I'll show you some video we shot earlier. School officials say a student told administrators she overheard another student making a threat to the high school. This started the investigation. The school was put on a soft lockdown, then a controlled dismissal. Buses took students home. Superintendent Joelle Mayer says student safety is number one priority, and I did speak with her. Here's what she had to say.
Subsequently, we were not able to either say that the threat was credible or not credible, so out of an abundance of caution, we decided to cancel classes today at our high school location.
And again, credible threat, they don't know if it is or not. They're still working to identify that student. This is something that they say is very important, especially during this time when we just had the Nashville shooting. They're saying just out of abundance, as she mentioned, they're sending students home. And something important to mention, this does not affect the middle school students or the actual elementary school students, only for the high school students here. We're still trying to talk to parents to get their feelings about this. We did ask how students are feeling. They say that they're happy that this was being executed well. They were all sent home on buses. So it seems like this was a smooth dismissal. Again, we're still trying to talk with parents about this.
That we had in West Geauga in the past couple of days, where they actually found a gun on a student in the West Geauga schools. I know you're trying to get to some parents to talk to them, but if you can you give me a sense of what the mood is, your sense of the mood around the school and how people are dealing with this at this point?
Well, I will tell you, when we first arrived, we saw students being let out on buses. We saw parents pulling up in cars. We were still trying to get set up. But obviously, it's that feeling of worry and distress, thinking, not again. We're hoping that this is not a credible threat. This is something that's affected everyone across the nation. And as I was talking to the superintendent, she says whether incidents would have happened in Nashville or even across the nation, their biggest concern is making sure every student in that building is safe. She's thankful that this was a controlled dismissal and everyone was able to get out on time. Now, this happening around 9 a.m. and as soon as they heard about that threat, they immediately started that controlled dismissal. It was on lockdown for a little bit. They tried to go throughout the school to ask questions about what happened. But again, it's the feeling of not again. Let's make sure our students are safe. Let's get everyone out of the building. You can still see cars up there at the high school. That's because teachers, staff, other administrators are there just kind of debriefing what happened, what's going on, what more can they figure out. Obviously, come Monday, we will have an update, but it looks like students will be able to get back in the schools. Again, just the feeling of frustration and hoping that this is something that's not real.
Okay, Winnie, have you seen a police presence there at all? I don't see any police behind you as we speak now. That doesn't mean there isn't any police on the scene. Have you seen that police presence, and how large of a presence, if any, has there been?
Well, when we got here, there was a ton of police cars, including a police dog. Right now, a few of those police officers have left the building, but when we were up there getting video, we did see an officer ride around, checking out the area, asking us what were we doing there, obviously. So it's not a lot of police officers here. They've cleared the scene, so people are able to get in the back area here of the high school. Again, it's kind of calm right now, nothing new as it stands, but again, staff members and the superintendent are upstairs now talking about what just happened throughout this morning.
Okay, Winnie, one more question before I let you go. Do you expect any further update from Brecksville Broadview Heights on what exactly happened? What, a lot of times we get through this and they'll say, well, it wasn't a credible threat, but out of abundance of caution, this is what we felt we had to do. Do you expect them to come out and give you any added information as you work this story throughout the day and as we get prepared for our noon news here in just about 40 minutes?
Well, that's what we're hoping for. Talking to the superintendent, she mentioned that they are working to figure out what happened. It's still under investigation. So I'm hoping as soon as they get done debriefing, they will send out a letter on the website, which they did. If you go to the Broadview Heights High School website, there is a letter that has been sent out to parents about this. So I would assume throughout the day, they will be updating parents in the community about this issue. As it stands, we will be here on the property most of the day. I will reach back out to the superintendent just before my 3 p.m. hit to find out if there's any updated information. But as it stands, no police presence right now. The school is quiet. Teachers and staff, everyone now debriefing.
Winnie, thank you so much. Appreciate it. You mentioned this statement from the schools. I'm going to read that to everybody. Winnie, you can go ahead and get on with your day. I know you're busy and got a lot to do this rest of this morning and this afternoon. Here's what the Brecksville Broadview Heights schools wrote in a Facebook post. Brecksville Broadview Heights students are being dismissed effective immediately in a staggered release and supervised by the Broadview Heights Police Department due to an alleged threat for violence and district officials' desire to keep everyone safe and begin their investigation. At 9 a.m. Friday, April 14th, student drivers are being released first. Transportation Department has mobilized buses to begin transportation students home grade by grade. They've done that. Once again, our local public safety teams oversaw that whole dismissal. The threat for violence has not been substantiated as of yet. They're obviously still working on that. Building leaders believe that safety is a priority. They're acting out of an abundance of caution in order to keep everybody safe there in Brecksville, Broadview Heights, and you can hardly blame them at this point. Specifically what we've seen in Louisville, of course that was a bank shooting, but also in West Geauga when a student actually had a gun inside the school and had a plan and was ready, is all we can assume, that he was going to take action. That student, by the way, in West Geauga has pled not guilty to the misdemeanor charge by reason of insanity. There's still a felony charge hanging over him, although we are quite sure that he will be indicted before there is another hearing in that case. But as far as Brecksville Broadview Heights goes, we will continue to monitor this situation. We'll have an update on this for you coming up in just about 35 minutes at noon. For now, I'm Brian Duffy in our 19 Digital Studios. Have a great afternoon.
19 News is everywhere. Download our CTV apps and follow us on social media.